You went to school, you sat in those classrooms, you memorized, you passed, you collected the certificate. You know the distance between the earth and the sun. You know the date the Berlin Conference was held. You know the exports of countries you have never visited. You know the kings of England in chronological order, but here is what I want to ask you. Do you know the name of the philosophy your great-grandmother lived by? Do you know how your ancestors resolved conflict before courts existed? Do you know what your people believed about the human mind, about healing, about justice, about the universe, before someone arrived and told them they believed nothing worth keeping? You were educated, thoroughly, expensively, exhaustingly educated, and somehow you know everything about the world except the world that made you. This was not an accident. In 1835, a British politician named Macaulay stood before his government and said, "We must create a class of people Indian in blood and color, yeah, but English in tastes, opinions, morals, and intellect." He was talking about India, but the blueprint traveled to Africa, to Nigeria, to your school, to the classroom where you sat and learned to measure your intelligence by how well you could think in someone else's language about someone else's history. The school was not built to educate you. The school was built to replace you, to take the child full of ancestral knowledge and return a different person, useful, obedient, grateful. Think about what you were taught. You were taught Shakespeare. You were not taught Wole Soyinka until someone from outside Africa gave him a Nobel Prize and made it safe to. You were taught the Roman Empire. You were not taught about Great Zimbabwe, about the Mali Empire, about Mansa Musa, the richest human being who ever lived. The curriculum was a mirror designed to show you only what they wanted you to see, and what they wanted you to see was yourself, small, and them, inevitable. The examination was the final piece. It made you compete to prove your worth by their standard, not your standard, not your community's standard. The certificate became the currency of survival, fought to be certified as adequately useful to a system that was never designed for their freedom. Before the school came, African children were educated differently, completely, deeply. They learned through story, the kind that carries philosophy and history. They learned through craft, how to build, grow, heal. They learned through community, how to belong to something larger than yourself without losing yourself inside it. That is not primitive education, that is sophisticated education. The school did not improve on that. It interrupted it, replaced it with a system that produces people who are very qualified and deeply lost. The colonizers left, but they left the school. The same curriculum, the same examination boards, some of them still headquartered in London. The same hierarchy of knowledge, science and mathematics at the top, arts and humanities in the middle, African history and philosophy nowhere on the list. And nobody told them that the definition of intelligence they were given was written by someone who needed them intelligent enough to work but not intelligent enough to question. I am not saying burn the schools. Mathematics is real. Science is real. I am saying know what the school was built for, know what it left out, and go and find what it left out. Study philosophy, including African philosophy. Ubuntu is not just a word, it is an entire framework for how human beings can relate to each other that the world desperately needs right now. The school gave you half an education, go get the other half yourself. You were born into one of the oldest, richest civilizations this planet has ever produced. The forgetting was the lesson, the most important lesson they ever taught you. Now unlearn it, think deeper, go further back. You will find yourself there, waiting. This has been Frost's Perspective. Think deeper, see clearer.